Alright everyone, I made a video the other night about some socket sets that I have in quarter-inch drive, and somebody wanted me to share the 120 XP quarter-inch drive set that I had, and somebody said that, oh well, they're junk, oh well, the ratchets are all garbage, they're all made in China. Maybe they do make some stuff in China, but as far as I can tell, this set is actually made in Taiwan. So where is it at? Right here. So there you go. This is the 51 piece set, Gearwrench set, 90 tooth. And this is the set that they asked me to review, was the 51 piece 120 XP. This is the actual set I reviewed last night, and the comment was made that all Gearwrench ratchets are garbage. I don't believe that, and the reason why I say that, the 84 tooth predecessor to this was probably one of the best ratchets that was on the market. That same 84 tooth was almost a duplicate to the Matco ratchet. You could take the guts out of it and put it in the Matco, and the Matco and the Gearwrench, they're almost identical in every way, even though that Matco was not being supplied with ratchets through Gearwrench in any way. They have their own facility to make their own ratchets through an independent company. So that being said, the only issue that I have with this ratchet, like I said, it was the back drag on it. I do not like the back drag of this 120 tooth ratchet. One of the other things that I've had in the past with Gearwrenches that I don't like, and same thing with Matco, is under high-low conditions, I used to have some of the snap rings pop out of them, and the guts would fall out of them. It was very agitating. Have I ever had that happen to this one? No. I do not use this under heavy loads or anything like that. I use this moderately. The other comment was, he said all the sockets are garbage and they're made in China. Well, these sockets are made in Taiwan. Yes, they have the potential to crack. I made the comment that I broke the 8mm, cracked it. And I made the comment that I broke it twice. And then if you listen to the video further on down, I said 3 times. And what I meant to say is I am on my third 8mm socket, and I have had it warranted twice. So that makes this my third socket. So I'm sorry if there's any misunderstandings there, but I'm not trying to bullshit anybody or anything like that. This is an 8mm socket that's been warranted. I've cracked it in the same spot right on the corner of the 6-point, and I took a picture of it. I sent it to them, filled out the warranty claim form, and they sent me a new socket. No questions asked. So all in all, this set has been really good to me. I haven't had any issues with it. It provides very large coverage. Like I said, you got 4mm to 15mm, 3/16 to 9/16. You have the same coverage in shallow sockets as well. 2-inch extension. A universal, we talked about this. I don't care for their universals because they're a little bit on the large side. I like the snap-on ones. Am I going to replace it in this kit for a journeyman set? No. If I was going to use this every day, I would probably have a snap-on in here, or have it off to the side, just like have this, custom socket that I made here. The reason why I'm going over and doing this review again was not only the comment, was actually I brought the 90 tooth set home, and I brought the 120 XP set home. So we're going to put these side by side, and I'm going to show you there is no difference other than this ratchet and the color of this spinner. Like I said, this ratchet right here, the back drag is just awful for a 120 tooth ratchet. You see how loud it is. It takes a lot of effort to turn this thing. It's not a bad ratchet. You're not going to bend this. You're not going to break this. This ratchet will probably hold up better than the sockets. Like I said, I'm not a Gearwrench fanboy, as far as ratchets or anything else or the sockets. I bought this because it's a very inexpensive kit, and it gives me a tremendous amount of coverage when I'm out in the field. So if you use this by hand and you're not putting this on air tools or air or cordless ratchets or impact guns, I really doubt you're going to break a lot of these sockets if you use them correctly. And even then, they provide a lifetime warranty on these, and it's a no questions asked type of deal. If you can prove that it's their socket to them in a picture, and you can show that it's broke, they're going to send you a new socket. So the warranty is just phenomenal. So that being said, we're going to move on. Like I said, these ratchets are not the best thing on the market. Like I said, I think the best ratchet they made was their 84 tooth ratchet, which was almost comparable to the Matco. Like I said, it was almost a duplicate or like a sister ratchet. Even though they weren't made by the same company, they were identical almost in every way as far as the mechanical mechanism inside of them. All right, let's grab this other set. I'll set this right over top of it. One thing you'll notice is the colors on them. This one's more yellow for the 122 XP. The older sets are more orange color. But if I set that set over top of this one, we'll see if we can get them both in the same frame here. But I mean, we have a duplicate set. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the same set. This is more or less the same ratchet. Do you hear how much smoother that is for a 90 tooth? How freely that moves? Like I said, that's the reason why I decided to go with the 92 set when I bought the second set for work, was because this 90 tooth was smoother. I think it's a better ratchet. It was less money, and it got the same amount of pieces in both sets. So there is subtle differences about the two. Where the part number is, the identification. They put a little bit of color on here, but this is more or less the same ratchet. I mean, you can see the grooves up here and the on and off for the 90 tooth versus the 120 tooth. This one's more polished and more refined. We flip that over and there is no difference that I see there other than the cutout design that they use for the anvil where it goes inside. You can see how this is definitely a finer tooth. That takes a lot of effort to move. That thing's like nothing. It turns real easy. So like I said, I think this 90 tooth is a better ratchet just from using it in general. Even though these ratchets appear almost identical in every way. Make sure you guys can get a good view of that right there. Like I said, the same amount of pieces. There's 51 in this set. If I lay this one over top of this one, there's 51 in this set right here. The only difference I see is this spinner is a little different. And in my opinion, this spinner still works like crap. A little stiff. If you really want to use it, the back drag on it kind of sucks. This one works better than the one in the 120 XP set. Maybe that's just coincidence. Quality control, I don't know. But all in all, this isn't a bad set at all. The only socket I have broke has been the 8mm. And like I said, I'm on my third one, and I've warranted it twice. So I have gone through 2 sockets, and I'm on my third one, which is not broke yet, and hopefully it will not break. But just the comment was made that these are junk, they're made in China, when they're not. They may be on the same continent, in Asia. Maybe they could throw a rock and hit each other, but this is made in Taiwan and the other is made in China. They're two different, entities, even though they're on the same continent. So the quality over in Taiwan's a little bit better than it is over in China. So that being said, we're going to move on to the next set of sockets I have, but I wanted to clear that up. Like I said, between the ratchets, the comment being the ratchets are junk, and someone made a comment that I said, had 2 sockets and then 3 sockets. I wanted to clear the air with that. I broke 2 sockets and I am on my 3rd socket, my 8mm. So there's no, questions about that. No, I did not have 3 sockets. Or no, I did not break 3 sockets. Yes, I have 3 sockets, or have replenished it with 3 sockets, but that's where it ends. So I'm going to button these up and we're going to move on to the next ones. Like I said, this is the 90 tooth gear wrench set. This one I bought for $65. I bought this some time back, and this is what I have at home right here. Just to go around the yard, work on the mower, or just to have, period. Carry in the car, just miscellaneous stuff. If I go somewhere, I have to do something, work on my mom's car or whatever. This is very portable. It's very easy. I don't worry about losing stuff out of it. And one of the things I like about it is, unlike my snap-on sets, it all stayed in place. So it's one of the things I really like about this set. So we're going to kind of move on, but that's one of the things I wanted to touch base with you guys about and clear the air. So all right, my next set that I'm going to bring out is going to be my snap-on set. I can't remember exactly how many pieces this is. This is a set I use at work all the time. And I don't know if this case is actually still available or not, but it's PB99. So if anybody wants to look this case up on Snap-on, see if it's still available, that is the part number. This as well is I believe is a 44-piece set. This has the older ratchet in it. It's not a fine tooth. It could use some servicing. 2-inch extension, 6-inch extension, swivel. This is the real slimline one right here. We have sockets in here that actually, I believe it says 5mm on here, and there is no 5.5, and is what I've done. I'm pretty sure I put a 5.5 in the place of the 5 because I didn't use a 5. I use more 5.5 stuff, for dash work and stuff like that. So that's one thing I hated about this kit. And when I bought it, I swapped the 5mm out and put a 5mm in its place, or 5.5mm in its place. I did that for the shallow and the deep. So this goes from 5.5 all the way up to 15, and I believe it skips the 5mm now because I believe it went 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I have to turn this around here and see if we can read that, because that didn't work out right. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then it must... No, it does not go to 15. I was under the impression this went to 15. So that's one of the things I don't like about this kit. It does not go to 15. So on the other side here, I did not replace any sockets. So they're going to be, as you see here, 3/16, 7/32, 1/4 inch, 9/32, 5/16, 11/32, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, and 9/16. So you have those in shallow and deep. This has been my go-to set for years. The only other set I had was an SK set, and I ended up getting rid of it because I had so many broken sockets in the set, cracked sockets. it was so hard to get them warranted, and I sent some of them off to be warranted, and the guy from USA Tools just never came back. So then I was out sockets. I replaced them with snap-on sockets. I bought a few online. I just got disgusted with it, and I just finally I ended up selling the set on eBay. I actually liked the set so much, I actually ended up buying a brand new set for some odd reason, but I think we discussed this before. I'm just a tool whore, so don't give any kind of rhyme or reason for the things that I do, but like I said, I'm just a tool whore, so that's part of the reason behind it. But this is pretty much my kit at the shop that I use for most of my common stuff. This is in my roll cart. I actually cleaned this up, put it in the parts cleaner, cleaned it up. I was surprised how well it came out, considering it was kind of greasy and nasty on the outside, really bad. How well it cleaned up on the inside and the other stuff. It was kind of shocking. This does have the old tab on it. Another thing I hate about this, I'm going to show you right now. I do not like that. So that's the reason why it stays in my cart. These sockets don't want to stay where they are. If you bump this one, it's on the cart or exposed on a, your open cart or whatever, these things get knocked out of it very easily. So I like that it's all here and organized, but I don't like that it's so easily, misarranged. So, but this is I believe it's 44-piece snap-on set that I have. And since then I've upgraded and bought an SK set, and I also use this Astro set between work and my Journeyman kit. So I'm gonna close this one up. I believe we covered everything in here. More or less just covered that snap-on size arrangement, what it comes with, and we'll compare that to the next follow-on kit. This is my SK set. I believe this is a 48-piece set. Part number, I believe, should be inside of it right here somewhere. It's a 91-844, but I believe this kit comes with 4 additional pieces, which makes it a 48-piece. So they use the same case, but they just use a different number when you order it. So if you want a 91-844, you get 44 pieces, but you don't get these pieces right here, the swivel, the reducer, the other reducer here, and you don't get the spinning wheel, thumb wheel. So this one's definitely got more sockets in it, and one of the things I like about this one is nothing is out of place. It kind of lays down in here, so it's not going to bounce around or anything. You turn it up on the side and sockets ain't going to go everywhere. So I like this case a lot better. One of the things I don't like about this set, and the reason why I still use my snap-on set, is because I have a larger assortment of standard sockets versus my metric sockets. So you can actually see, I think there's 10 deep there. We'll set that side by side, and you see I have more here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 deep sockets versus 10 deep sockets. 1, 2, 3, and 10 shallow sockets. So if you're ever needing anything deep in here as far as standard, it's not going to be there. It's going to be in these guys here. But I do like that it has a wider assortment of shallow sockets, going smaller sizes here. Again, it's on the case too. We have 4mm, 5mm, 5.5mm, 6 millimeter, 7 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 11 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and 15 millimeter. And that was a big thing for me. I wanted a 15 millimeter. I do a lot of starters on the side of the road and stuff, and it used to be 16 millimeter, which I do. I have a 5/8 or a 16 millimeter here. 16 millimeter. And even in my snap-on set at the shop, I have a 16 and a 5/8 millimeter, and I believe I have it in a deep and a shallow as well. And that's on my Westling adapter kit. As far as our standard sockets go, right here, we're going to have 3/16, 7/32 in the shallow, and then in the shallow and deep, we're going to have quarter, 9/32, 5/16, 11/32, 3/8, 7/16, half inch, and 9/16. So you basically have everything you need in here, as long as you didn't have anything in standard and smaller than 1/4 inch. So I might work for some people. I run into studs that have Takata manifolds and stuff like that when I'm doing cylinder heads and taking stuff out of expansion blocks and just little things that I might end up needing these smaller sockets on. Sometimes take apart computers and stuff like that and verify failure of the component. So sometimes we need some of these smaller sockets. This kit comes with a 1/4 inch to 3/8 adapter, which is kind of nice. So I mean, you could actually use your 1/4 inch ratchet with any of your 3/8 stuff if you're out in the field. You can also go the opposite direction because they give you an adapter to go from 3/8 to 1/4, so you could use 3/8 on your 1/4 stuff if you had a socket failure or you just needed something smaller and you wanted to use a larger ratchet for easier access. You have a universal here. This one's a little more compact than most of them, even the Gearwrench one. This one isn't as large. I actually like this swivel. This is not a bad swivel at all. I usually lock these two together and put it in a little storage area. I am a big fan of SK ratchets. I think that they have the most easiest back drag. It's an old school kind of ratchet. A lot of people don't like them. I like these ratchets. I got one in 3/8. I got a flex head and a few other ones over the years. Problem is I just can't get them rebuilt anymore or find kits and stuff for them. And now they're selling a lot of stuff from China, so they revamped some stuff, and a lot of times you don't get what you want. So this particular ratchet right here is a really nice ratchet. I don't know how many teeth this is. This is an extremely fine tooth ratchet. One of the downfalls, it's an extremely thick head. That's a nice compact ratchet. See, it's an SK 40970 knurled handle, and I just like that old school look. I wouldn't replace this with a snap-on or anything else. I really like this ratchet. Out of all the ratchets I have, I kind of wish that they still made these, and they do. They just don't make them to this quality anymore, unfortunately. This is the thumb wheel that comes with it, and this thumb wheel has very little back drag, so it's stiff to turn directions, not too bad. But this is way nicer than what you get with the Gearwrench set that I showed you earlier. The quality of this is 10 times better. The weight of this is unreal. It's a heavy piece, but it's very comfortable. It's knurled, easy to use. And if I was going to use a thumb wheel, this would be the one that I use because it has very little back drag. So it would make it nice to run something in. Doesn't have those little knobs on it. Actually, this hung up right there, screwing with it. So, but this is still, I would say this is way better than what you get with the Gearwrench. I usually keep that stored underneath here. It actually makes it stick the ratchet up a little bit, but fits in there. One of the things I bought additional was this socket right here. Like I said, it was a 16 millimeter. I do have one of these, like I said, in the snap-on. The reason why I have this is old school starters. Don't usually use them that much anymore, but the old Chevrolets used to use a 5/8 nut to hold the starter wire on. I still run across them every now and then. Even some of the old school, construction equipment, stuff like that, still uses the larger 16 millimeters. So I have one of those in this kit, and it's just nice to have. Just because it's a 16 millimeter doesn't mean it needs to be torqued, 100 foot-pounds or 60 foot-pounds or whatever it calls for. Obviously, a starter's not going to get torqued that much. You're probably looking at maybe 20 foot-pounds, if that. So it's nice to be able to have a runner, a quarter-inch runner for something like that, for that size bolt. I think that's going to do it for this kit. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite kit. Only downfall for me is getting sockets when they break, warranty, and that's really about it. Other than that, I really like this kit, and the other downfall is just the limited arrangement for quarter-inch sockets for standard. Now, they do make this kit, and it's been discontinued for a long time. They make it in 91-860. It comes with 60 pieces, and it comes with all this in it. And I believe it comes with a deep and a shallow 16 millimeter. Larger assortment of standard sockets. I've been looking for that kit for a long time. A few places show it. They want crazy money for it. I've called them to see what the stock and availability of it is, and they don't have it in stock. So, but I decided on buying this one. I did a review on it. I believe this kit cost me $189. I bought it refurbished from Amazon. Most of them I looked at have been like $250, $299, $300, $399 for this particular set. So I bought this one for $189, and when I got it, they said it was refurbished. It had 2 duplicate sockets. I believe 2 9s and 2 11/32, I believe. So I had to buy 2 sockets. I bought them off of eBay. Had them shipped to the house. I think it cost me like $9 for 2 sockets. I found somebody that was offering those particular sockets in that size, and had them shipped to the house. So now I have a couple extra sockets if I break them, which are sizes I don't use, unfortunately. But I do have a couple extra sockets now, and it probably pushed it close to $200 for this set. But all in all, this is probably my favorite set. I'm going to move on to the next set here. Actually, I'm not even going to move on to the next set. I'm going to show you actually this case and show you that it is available for anybody that actually wants to put their sockets in it. One of the things that I ran into, though, if you want to put sockets in it, is not all sockets fit down in here. Some of them are larger in diameter than others, and that's where I ran into. So my sockets didn't fit in here, unfortunately. But let me show that to you. This is the same exact kit that I just showed you. This is the box I bought. I was going to put my snap-on stuff in here, and I really didn't want to split up some of my standard stuff because there was only 8 deep sockets, and I believe I have like 12 or 13 standard deep sockets, so I didn't want to split them up. So I ended up just buying the other set. But this is a box 91-844 if anybody wants to buy just the box. These are available on Amazon. Paul Mac and a few other companies have them. If you Google it, you can find these fairly easy. Like I said, this comes with everything that you wanted, you want to fill up or put in here or whatever. I don't know what ratchets fit in here. I take that back. I do know what fits in here. I got a snap-on ratchet that actually has it's a 100 tooth ratchet. It's a round style ratchet, and it does fit in here. I don't know the particular part number, but in my old set, when I broke the ratchet, that's what I actually had in here. It was an actual snap-on 100 tooth round head ratchet. So I do know a snap-on ratchet will fit in this case, but not the teardrop design. The snap-on sockets will fit up in here as well. It's what I really didn't want to do, is fill half the case with my metric and then turn around and have, a bunch of sockets rolling around in my drawer because they didn't fit in the case here. I got 8 spots and 13 sockets, so, and then I still have 10 sockets over here, and I still have 13 sockets from my standard set. So I really didn't want to split them up, so I have an extra case here in case that one takes a crap on me or drop it or something happens. The pin breaks over here in the corner, plastic pin breaks, and have a case failure or something like that. But these weren't very expensive. I wanted to say I paid between $10 and $20 for this case. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I do remember I bought it off of Amazon and it was really reasonable. But if you guys want to look at that number, there it is. It's an A box 91844. One last set I want to cover tonight. It's another snap-on set, and we talked about it the other night. Someone mentioned that I didn't say anything about the sockets that are in it. And it wasn't this one. Let me move this one. This is one we looked at already. And that was this particular set. Obviously, I'm missing my 2-inch extension here. I obviously lost it somewhere. This varies in difference between the other set that I showed you last night, because this is actually a actual true extension with a handle on it. I really like this design versus the tri-lobe grip, because the tri-lobe grip does not have this in it. So I tend to use this more. I have a couple of these, as I discussed in the last video. 4-inch extension, 6-inch extension. This is my long ratchet. Like I said, this is the coarse tooth. I have a fine tooth at work, and I brought this one home. My snap-on universal and my snap-on breaker bar. We discussed this as well. This is a flexible extension. I need to take this in and have this warranted, but back in the day, like I said, I used to use this on a lot of distributors. I used to hold this up, stick it up underneath the cap, and be able to get the nut off of the Honda distributor caps and Mazdas and other ones like that, which you just don't see anymore. Like I said, I've probably abused it trying to get other things off as well that were beyond the torque capacity of this, and as you can see, it kind of spiraled up a little bit. But they do warranty these. I just never got around to doing it. It's one of these sets I have at the house that I don't use as much as I used to. The comment is I didn't show the sockets last time in the video. So here are the sockets right here. This is a miscellaneous set that I have and what I started with a long time ago. When I first got this set, I didn't have a lot of money to buy Snap-on or anything else, so I was going to pawn shops and other stuff and things I scrounged around the shop and things people gave me. So I got a 7mm SK right here. I got an 8mm. This is probably a 9mm old Craftsman that I had an extra one of. Yeah, 9mm Craftsman. This is obviously a 10mm. I'm sure this is an 11mm. 12mm. That is another Craftsman in the 12mm. $13mm snap-on. This is a 13mm snap-on as well, just like this 8mm here. This is just an old school one. This is probably predated, probably 70s or earlier. You see the old logo, made in the USA, patent number. It's a 14mm. Some of the broaching on these old sockets were awful down inside of them, but most of these sockets are scrounged out of a box in a pawn shop or something like that, or somebody gave them to me because they bought them and they didn't match their set and they got newer ones, or something. I always wanted a 15. It didn't matter where you bought sockets, if you bought them at Kmart, Walmart, whatever, the sets always ended at 14. and a lot of the regular stores ended in, I believe, 13. So if you went over to Sears or something like that, it used to stop, I believe, at like 13. If you got lucky, they went to 14. So I was on the truck and I bought a 15mm Mac to go with this set. And this was one of my starter sets that I had. And at the time, this is all Snap-on stuff here, but at the time, this wasn't all Snap-on stuff. I believe I did have the breaker bar. This universal used to set right in here, and this is a Master Mechanic universal. It used to set right here before I actually had a Snap-on universal. So a lot of these tools in this kit weren't even Snap-on when I first bought it. I've had this for a long time, and as I've accumulated tools over the years, I just, put Snap-on stuff back in this just to keep it from rolling around in my box. I know where it's at, and if I have to lose something out of a kit that I use every day, I can replace it. So, but this is just some of the stuff I held on to. I've cleaned it up a little bit, and it's just sitting in this box. I wanted to take this box to work, see if I could clean up a little more in the parts cleaner. I just never got around to it. But like I said, this is the same kit I viewed to you guys last night. I actually showed you the case number on it, but someone made the comment that I didn't show the sockets, so I'm doing that now. So go ahead and close that up, and I'll show you part number once again. PB24 for this particular case. And I believe I have the other case here as well. I brought it with me too. And it looks like they just changed the prefix of the number, and it's PB24A now. So like I said, you can see the logo is pretty much the same. It's just changed a little bit. And one of the things that I noticed is I believe this is a little bit bigger in here. So if you have a newer ratchet, it may fit a little better in here. I think this is just a little bit smaller on this one because I wanted to say I had my fine tooth 88 in here and it didn't, or 72 tooth, and it didn't fit very well. There was something different about right there, and this one was just a little bit bigger. So actually, I might be wrong. It may have been this kit right here, because this is an older one. I believe this one is smaller in this kit. And if you buy the newer case, I believe it's larger and it will fit the actual 88 tooth ratchet. And this is a older case. You can tell by the clasp on it. So then, if this case is available in a newer version, which is, if it is, it'll be PB99C or A, just like this kit down here. So PB99A if it's still available. And it will come with a larger opening here for the newer style ratchet. So I believe it's smaller on this particular case. And on this case, I'm not sure. It doesn't look any different, the diameter, but I could be wrong. I think it's the same. I'm sure eventually Snap-on's probably going to discontinue these cases. So if anybody wants one, you could probably search it online. You need to find it on eBay or something like that. If Snap-on still has them available, you can get them through Snap-on. And this is the same kit I showed you last night. This is 5mm to 15 and then 4mm to 15 in deep sockets, and the same assortment we had in the other one. Just wanted to show you the case differences and the setup on them. I believe I showed you everything in this kit last night. Like I said, you have a breaker bar, Snap-on universal. I got a long, actually I just swapped those. I had a swivel in this one, but I swapped them around there just in the video. But have this long ratchet in here. There, that's better. That's the way it was. So, but this is my 72 tooth ratchet. You hear how smooth that is and how nice the back drag is on that ratchet. Reason why this one's in here is because I use this one a little more than I use some of the other ones. So 6-inch extension, 4-inch extension, 2-inch extension, and the tri-lobe grip, which does not have the pass-through extension on it. But I do like this. Don't use it a lot. I heard a few guys on there use nut drivers quite often. And I do for certain things, electrical and stuff like that. Some of the boxes and grounds and stuff like that at the house here. And that's mainly why I have it at the house, because I don't use it so much at work. But I believe that's it. That is all my quarter-inch stuff, and I believe I pretty much cleared the air as far as the controversy of what I didn't show you guys last night as far as the extensions and this particular snap-on box, and the differences between the ratchets, and that they are not made in China and they are not a bad ratchet. So don't always, count on somebody else's opinion. Try it out for yourself. There's plenty of other people out there giving reviews. Like I said, I am not a Gearwrench fan as far as the ratchets, but like I said, the 88th tooth was pretty much a good ratchet. They were actually stronger than the snap-ons and a lot of the other ones. There's been a ton of reviews on that 88 tooth ratchet. People breaking. I believe Client Graphics and a few other people did a shootout on the ultimate ratchet or the strongest ratchet or something like that. And they weren't bad ratchets. So I wasn't going on everybody's opinion on it. Gearwrench is junk or Gearwrench is made in China. It specifically says Taiwan on the box. I think that, there's so many people using it in the professional industry right now. They say that they're not professional sockets, but there's so many people using the professional industry right now, and they use them every day. The quarter-inch, I think, is more prone to breaking than the 3/8 and some of the other ones, just because we as mechanics just put too much emphasis on a quarter-inch drive ratchet. I've been known to take 14 millimeter bolts out of Honda starters and everything else. That particular ratchet you've seen, I have one with a hard handle on it, and I've probably put an excessive of probably 70-80 pounds on that ratchet, breaking bolts loose on a Honda starter, doing a Honda Fit or a Honda Prius or a Accord or anything like that. Some of those starter bolts are a pain to get out. The only thing that fits up in there is some of this quarter-inch stuff. It makes life a little easier. So I wouldn't be, putting down the quarter-inch set because it breaks or anything like that. Because I know that we as mechanics abuse quarter-inch stuff. So I wouldn't be scared to buy this set. And with their warranty, I wouldn't be scared to use it in the mechanic industry. And I'm not saying that's the best. I'm not trying to push them, but I feel that was a negative comment, and it was an opinion on his behalf. And maybe he has not had good luck with Gearwrench ratchets, and I know I haven't in the past. As I said, this snap ring pops out, so under load, and it hasn't happened to every ratchet that I've had. It's actually happened to a Matco and a Gearwrench that I had, one of each, and I just kind of shied away from them and kept to my Mac and my snap-on stuff. So I think that's about it. Like I said, I'll try to get off here, and if you guys can give me a like, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. You all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.